Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me, as always, is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been an okay week here. It is October 22nd, 1999. This is going to be probably the funniest episode that we've ever done. As before this episode, we had to put one of our cats to sleep, and
we just watched Boys Don't Cry.
We watched a movie that is horrifying.
I didn't know. I would have not chosen to watch this movie today.
Yeah.
Had I understood what we were getting into.
Well, let's tell everyone what we got into, because this movie is topical enough. No news today. No massive love. No frills.
This is the first time that I've been driven to drink while recording.
Yeah.
But that is how upsetting this day and episode has been.
Interesting.
He says as he takes a drink.
Yeah. So, Boys Don't Cry. I can attest, although I did a lot of crying today when we put our cat to sleep, but I can attest that this boy in the movie did not cry once.
What?
No crying.
I feel like that's wrong.
No, that's right. There was no crying.
No crying.
Not from Brandon and Tina.
Brandon and Tina from Brandon.
That's how that character is credited in the end of credits.
Brandon and Tina?
Yes.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I didn't notice that.
Well,
I mean, there was some screaming. For sure.
what?
There was some screaming. I guess there were not tears, but...
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you meant at the end of the movie. Like the theater just erupted in screams.
No. Okay, so let's back this up. This movie starts out with Hilary Swank.
First of all, before you get to the plot.
Okay.
Obviously, spoilers, everyone, if you haven't seen the movie. I don't know. Maybe see it.
I would not. Just listen to us. It's enough.
Bring some Kleenex. I thought it was a very, very good movie. Powerful movie.
Very great movie. Very well done. Wonderful acting. Don't do it to yourselves.
But we have a cast of characters here.
Yeah.
We've got 90210's own Hilary Swank in a role about as far from her 90210 role as possible. Carly, I think, was her name in 90210.
I think so.
We've got First Becky from Roseanne.
As Candace.
Original Recipe Becky.
Original Recipe. I love it.
We have Warren from Empire Records.
I honestly don't remember his character.
He was the one that was trying to shoplift.
Okay.
The one they basically kidnapped and kept at the record store, and then wants a job at the end. And then we've got Chloe Sevigny from Kids.
So she got raped in that movie.
Yes.
And then Hilary Swank gets raped in this movie.
Yeah. It's a rape circle, which is the worst kind of circle to be involved in.
Oh my God. I'm just thinking Chloe, whatever her name is.
Sevigny.
She might have some trauma.
I guess so. I will say one more thing before we get into the plot.
Okay.
Stellan Skarsgård's son, nephew, something. I don't know. Stellan Skarsgård is a Swedish actor. His the guy that plays John, the piece of shit.
Yes.
That's one of his relations.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I don't know. Son, nephew, something. I don't know. There's a lot of Skarsgårds
in Hollywood.
Well, Stellan Skarsgård, and then he has a brother that acts too. I can't remember his name. But anyway, so one thing that this movie kind of conveys to me is that living in Nebraska fucking sucks.
Yeah.
This movie makes living in Nebraska look like, let's just say that Hilary Swank's character got off easy in the end.
So, like, they're not anywhere near, like, Omaha. I'm sure Omaha is not like this, okay? They're in a city that's literally not on the map, according to one of the characters.
They're 70 miles away from Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah.
The capital of Nebraska.
But, yeah, it definitely seems like it's a... They were doing a thing that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of this?
Oh, the
surfing?
The surfing on the back of a pickup truck?
Yeah.
No.
Like, you've got to be pretty bored.
No, I grew up in a city.
Yeah. You got to be pretty bored to think that's fun.
Yeah, this, like I said, I've never liked... no offense to Nebraska. Like, I'm not trying to denigrate the entire state of Nebraska. Although, go Michigan. You don't deserve the partial national title you got, I don't think.
What?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a college football thing.
Okay.
So, like, no offense to Nebraska or Iowa or any of the major Midwest states out there, Montana, Wyoming, they've never appealed to me. They appeal to some people, that way of life, not me though.
Okay.
Too rural, too farmy, not my thing.
I mean, I enjoy, like, first of all, I am allergic to everything outside, so, like, I really can't be an outdoorsy girl no matter what.
Sure.
But I do enjoy, like, peaceful, quiet moments outside.
Sure.
But I don't think I'd want to live in the rural area.
No, it looks awful.
Yeah.
But anyway, so go ahead. The movie starts with...
Hilary Swank is getting all dressed up to, like, obviously to look like a dude. Right. And gets a ride to a bar. She's wearing a cowboy hat. And we find out, I think, towards the end of the movie, who the character with her is her cousin.
Yes.
And they do her the favor of saying, don't wear the cowboy hat.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous.
It really does. But she has a date.
That's trying too hard.
Yeah. She has a date with an actually very attractive girl.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure they were going to look at her and know that she was not a boy.
I think that the makeup artist, the costumer, and everything did a really good job because I think Hilary Swank does look like a boy in this movie.
A very feminine boy, though.
Maybe in the face, like lips wise, I guess. But there are guys that have features like that.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely can pass. But in this movie, Brandon is the name that they're going by. That's the last name of the character. I suppose
we should probably call the character him.
Yeah.
Because I think this is based on a real story. This is based on a real person. So we're going to try our best to be as respectful as possible. And I think the real life person would want to be called him. So
sure, I was more referring to the actress, but
no, I know you were. I'm just saying, like, just so everyone listening is on the same page, we're going to mostly refer to the character as him. I mean, obviously we'll refer to Hilary Swank as her, but
yeah. Okay, so the date obviously goes well because they are making out.
Right?
And he, like, just takes the girl home and, you know, is very sweet about, like, I'm going to make sure you get inside safe and all that stuff. And at one point the cousin says, like, what? I remember the comeback was they say I'm the best boyfriend they've ever had.
Right.
Yeah, because, I mean, they are very chivalrous and gentle, whereas a lot of guys are not like that. So I can see that.
But disaster strikes.
Yeah.
One of the things that I don't love about the way this movie is structured. So I do like, just to get it out of the way, I liked the movie a lot. It's not a movie I ever want to watch again. But I liked the movie a lot. I would give a recommendation to it. I'd even say go see it in the theater. Like, don't necessarily wait for home video. But gird yourself for an experience. It's a visceral... This is one of those films that, you know, challenges your emotions and everything else, especially because it's based on a true story. But I liked it quite a bit it's not perfect. It's not a perfect film. And I think that one of the things that really bothered me about the structure of it was they did a lot of weird time jumps. The movie actually opens with a car chase that we see the end of with a bunch of fog and stuff like that and everything. And we don't come back to that till maybe a third of the way in the film. It's not even at the end of the film or at the beginning of the film. It's Hilary Swank driving, and we see a bunch of like fog and stuff like that. There's really no reason to start the movie that way. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Maybe that was the last good time or whatever that all these people had together before the insanity of this fucking John character asserted itself. I don't know what the significance of it was, but they do that later. There's rape and murder in this movie, just to let you know.
And they don't pull any punches.
Oh, not at all.
Very, very graphic.
Later, when there's rape and stuff like that, it's talked about while she's talking to the police, and then it's flashing back to that. They do, and I know you were confused a little bit of whether it was going on after or before.
Well, because they start talking to the police about an incident that happened before the rape.
Yeah. And then they do that a couple times, like that, where it's something's going on and they're talking about it. He is supposed to go to trial for Grand Theft Auto. We learn about the trial, but not what it's for. Mm-hmm. Like it's a big mystery, but it's really not.
Yeah, they could have said. And
then as he's sitting there in the courtroom, we're flashing back to it happening, the thing, and it's like, okay. I didn't like the way it was all sort of jumbled like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
I was just going to say, most of the story is told in a straightforward narrative, but there's about 5 or 6 scenes where they do that, and it doesn't really fit.
Yeah, this isn't the kind of movie that needs to try to be like Pulp Fiction-y about what it's doing. It's one linear story.
I also thought Pulp Fiction at the one like sexy-ish scene in the movie where he and Chloe Sevigny are starting to have sex in the car. I guess that's the sexy scene is the grass scene, but
there are a few sexy scenes.
But when they're in the car and everything, they're standing outside of the car and the car's there. The way it's lit, I was like, did Quentin Tarantino light this car? It's just huge, bright, like way more lit up than the interior of a car would ever be in the middle of a cornfield.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
But it was a beautiful shot, but it's very artificial the way it was lit. And that, I don't know, that grabbed me a little bit too. I didn't love a lot of the cinematography in this, and there were a couple times where I don't mind the panning to the same landscape shot of flat-ass Nebraska with the lights moving by. That's fine. But they pan to it a couple times just talking about, oh, we should get out of here, we should do this. It's like, is that supposed to make me feel like they're trapped? Like this is all they're ever going to see? Or I don't know. It just, the idea didn't fully germinate to me.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple times where it looked almost like it was a computer generated zoom, where they zoom up from like they're looking at whatever a landscape in real like they're actually looking at it, and it zooms up to the sky and the moon, and like the sky starts moving quickly, and the zoom just looked not realistic, so I didn't love that either. So there were a couple like technical things that I didn't love about it. I did like that in a lot of the scenes, especially the sex scenes or the scenes involving Brandon's body, that it was very claustrophobic. The camera was very close. Everything was very close together. It felt intimate, claustrophobic. I thought that added to some of what they were trying to convey in those different scenes, whether it was brutality or more like, I don't know, exploration of body and then stuff like that.
Yeah, you are always much more insightful when it comes to the technical shit. But yeah, I mean, I didn't notice that at all.
But I think we still haven't really begun, right? We began. It begins with Hilary Swank.
So,
sorry, you look mad at me.
Well, no, because it's just I don't remember where we left off talking about the story. I believe we just said that they were.
Oh, the date.
Yeah, they went on a date with a girl. People found out that they were not a girl or that they were not a boy, and it was like a lynch mob.
That's when it turned disastrous. Yeah, because, and that's the other thing. I guess that was my point. Is that that's also non-linear. We don't see any of that. We see the date. The date's successful. That's their first date. Presumably, what happens is
There was a time jump there.
no. I know. That's what I'm saying. Presumably, what happened is they went out several other times. And I guess they got further along in things, and she found out, oh, Brandon's not really a boy.
Brandon doesn't have a penis.
And told her brother and all his friends, and they came a-looking for him. So I guess that's what happened, but we don't get to see any of that build-up, really.
Well, look, that's a different story.
No, I know, but it's just... I don't know. It was... It was very quick, you know. I would have liked to have at least seen like another date or part of another date or a montage of dates or something.
See, I'm not even sure that it was for the same person. Because
Yeah,
I believe the
true.
time jump was significant. So, like, it could have been a whole different person that they were dating and getting lynched about.
You're right.
But, you know, basically, we get the idea they're like a Don Juan, but they're not actually having sex with anyone because they don't have a penis.
Right.
So they get run out of town. Well, actually, what happens is this lynch mob comes to the cousin's house where Brandon's staying, and the cousin kicks them out.
Yeah. So the lynch mob comes to the place with the cousin, like a little trailer park or something.
Yeah.
The cousin's like, yeah, you're kicked out. They have a little argument and everything. And apparently the lynch mob dematerializes from outside because they're just gone.
Right. Although they broke a window. I think maybe they were satisfied with that. I don't know.
Guess.
But so then...
Should have stayed in Lincoln if that's all it takes for them.
Right.
Just had some broken windows instead of getting shot in the head.
Yeah, yeah. But so Brandon goes on the road because they're like fucking homeless.
Well, sort of. He goes to a bar.
And meets Chloe Sevigny and... No. Candace.
Yeah. Meets First Becky.
First Becky.
Who plays Candace.
And I thought that they were interested in each other.
So did I.
I
was like, First Becky is going to be the love interest.
I think Candace was interested in Brandon.
Yeah, probably.
And I think that was probably disappointing. But they, First Becky invites Brandon to come to a party with them. And they're like, but it's like 70 miles away. And he's like, well, I have nowhere to go. I'll go to your party.
I'll come to your party with you with these two convicted felons. Although I don't think they knew at the time.
Yeah. So they go party, and then Candace says they can stay at her place. And then they just stay at Candace's place for days and days and days on end.
Yeah.
Which, you know, is weird because Candace,
Yeah, go ahead. I was just going to say basically relocates to this area.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like obvious Candace is interested in Brandon, and Brandon is interested in
Chloe Sevigny.
Lana,
yeah.
Is it Lana?
Lana.
Okay. I thought her name was Atlanta, so I don't know what the fuck. I feel like people were at least saying Lana and not
Lana. Well, they might have been saying Lana, yeah. It's Lana. It's Lana.
Yeah.
Lana.
So.
Like Lana Lane.
Lana's house is fucked up. I still don't understand the dynamic of the relationships in that house. The older woman is her mother.
Yes.
And that's it. I don't know how these two dudes fit in. Is John her stepfather?
No.
Is he dating her mother?
No.
Is he dating her?
Sort of.
He wants to be.
Yeah, so he was in jail.
Uh-huh.
He has a child from somebody else.
Wait, that kid was his child?
Yes.
That was his son? Are you sure? Because I thought they were at least brothers.
No, that was his son.
What the fuck? Okay.
Wait, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the guy that helps him rape later?
No.
Oh, okay.
Those are just buddies.
Okay.
There's a scene where there's a little toddler, the one they give beer to.
Oh, yeah.
That's his child.
Okay.
But anyway.
But I think that's also
No.
her mother's child.
No.
That they had that child together.
No.
Then who's he blaming? When he's like, if that kid's been raised right or trained right, they would.
The mom that's not there. He just has he just has a visitation for a little while.
And he gives beer to the toddler that he has visitation with. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like what happens when you give beer to people, she pees on.
I mean, she's like 4, so.
And he gets all pissed off about that because she's not raised right. Yeah, you're giving her beer. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Anyway, so yeah, it is a weird dynamic. I think he just insinuates himself in there. But he was arrested along with his buddy, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it was just him. I don't know. But he's like, yeah, not even my old lady wrote to me, but Lana wrote to me. Atlanta wrote to me. And she was like, yeah, I was 13 years old. So from the time she was 13, obviously this guy's a lot older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't know how old she is now. She's not 21. We
don't know that.
Yes, we do.
That Lana's not 20. Oh, yeah, because she can't buy beer.
Yeah.
You're right.
So she's at least like 20 at the most.
Well, Brandon just turns 21.
During the movie, yeah. So, I don't know. It's been several years since she started writing to this guy, and somehow he's ended up as a family friend or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think he must have been some sort of family friend before. Because he said, I knew her since she was this high or whatever.
Yeah, so that's why I thought he was with the mom.
No.
Why are you so sure he's not with the mom?
There's never any indication.
But
that
why
they're
is
together.
he there? It just doesn't make any sense.
He's a family friend.
But
That's
he's
all.
always there. He says, this is my house.
He says a lot of things. He says, this is my car, and it turned out to be Candace's car.
Yeah, and he has a trailer, so it's not his house.
We know.
Just saying, it's weird and confusing. There's a lot of confusion.
There is, and that's another thing. I wish the movie had been a little clearer in things. I don't need everything spelled out for me completely, but I would have. I don't know. I would have liked a little more clarity in our story because there's enough ambiguity interpersonally. I'd like the plot line to be juxtaposed to that to be clear.
Yeah. So, okay, so we've got Candace and Brandon living together.
Yeah.
Candace has a little toddler.
Yes, she does.
Brandon at some point says, oh, I have a kid too, which they don't.
It's a lie. No, Brandon lies essentially all the time.
Yeah.
Which I suppose if you had to lie about your own sexual identity, then you might be like, I'm just make everything up. Like,
Yeah.
It would feel like you're living a lie anyway.
I'm creating a character, yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
So they're living together. Lana is, I guess, she's living with her mom.
Yeah, she lives with her mom.
And then John and his younger buddy live together.
Well, I don't know that he's necessarily younger.
He looks younger.
I mean, he does. It's Warren from Empire Records. So he probably is younger.
But they're all hanging out together all the time.
Doing drugs and drinking and stuff like that. And Chloe Sevigny works at like a
meat plant, I think.
Meat packing plant or something.
She's like, you don't have to be sober to slice meat or whatever it is she does.
Right. It's, I mean, that tracks because, it's Nebraska. They do a lot of processing of that kind of stuff.
So Brandon gets Chloe Sevigny out in the woods. They have a little sex.
Yeah, they do. A little. Yeah. More than
he goes down on her.
Yeah.
That he gets nothing. I don't know how you. I mean, that seems to be what they do. I don't know how you finagle a situation where you consistently have, makeouts and oral with other people, but you don't let them even touch you. It's weird.
Right.
That'd be a hard minefield to navigate.
You can't contemplate it. Where you'd be like, I said you can't contemplate it. Where a situation where I was just doing that, you'd be and because you would throw me down.
Yeah.
Be like, no, give it to me.
So that's all weird. But they end up finding out because Brandon has this warrant, he has this court case that he goes and shows up for.
Right.
Takes the time to drive to Lincoln and go to court, and then sits there because they're calling Tina Brandon, and they're like, I'm not going to respond to Tina Brandon. I'm just going to sit here. So they get a failure to appear and a bench warrant.
I think it was more. I don't think it was like, oh, I'm not going to respond to that name. I think it was more the fear of having to go to jail because it was Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
That they were being whatever.
Well, I think it was stupid because
Obviously.
like they end up with a bench warrant because of a failure to appear, and like you said, they probably wouldn't have gone to jail. But bench warrant means if you have like, I don't know, you run a stop sign, you're going to jail.
Yeah, if you evade the cops and drive into like a salt area where you could drop off a 400-foot drop.
Yeah, so that's another scene that happens where Brandon and all these people are in the car and they're driving because John's too drunk. Mm-hmm. And the cops are after them because they were racing another car. And John's like in his ear, just directing him exactly what to do and how to do it to get out of the situation. But
faster.
They don't get out of the situation.
No.
And then Brandon gets a ticket. And Brandon has a fucking fake ID that says, that they're Brandon whatever and not Tina.
Carl, I think, actually, something.
Okay.
'Cause I think it's his cousin's ID.
So, yeah, so they go to take care of that ticket that they've gotten. And somehow they know that they're Tina.
Yeah, I don't understand that either, but...
So that's how they arrest them.
They say something like, when we ran your ID or whatever through, and it's like, but it's not their ID. So.
Well, I guess it's a known alias or whatever.
Maybe.
People get those known aliases attached to them.
That's true.
So they ended up in jail, and Chloe Sevigny, Lana, goes and bails them out. They have no money. I don't understand how that's possible. Like, if this wasn't a true story, I wouldn't believe it.
I also don't know how you get bailed out when you have a warrant in another city that you're 70 miles from. Like, you're not a flight risk. They just let you out. That's fine. That makes no sense to me.
But it's a true story, so we have to assume it happened.
Well, we don't have to assume that happened. I mean, they play a little fast and loose with the particulars here.
But that's how everybody finds out, including Lana.
Yeah.
That they're actually Tina.
Right.
And John is very upset about it because he is in love with
Chloe
Sevigny.
Lana, yeah.
Which is fucked up because, like he said, he's known her since she was little. She wrote to him when she was 13, and now he's got to be, like, in his 20s, and she's, like, not even 21, and it's gross.
Yeah, he's not. Well, I mean...
He might even be in his early 30s.
He's not the... I don't think he's supposed to be the hero of the stories.
No.
But yeah, his friend Tom, his little friend Tom, apparently just goes along with whatever he says. So.
Yeah. So he's like, you got to show us. You got to tell us if you're a boy or a girl. You got to show, What the fuck? Why is it any of your goddamn business? Like, and why does her mom just let him rule her house?
Oh, the mom is like a very, like, under the radar evil character.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a couple times she says some questionable shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she allows a lot of this to happen. And every once in a while she tries to act like she has morals.
And when she knows that John has a gun and is looking for Brandon, she's like, oh, he's at Candace's.
Because she wants him to get out of her house.
Sure.
She's afraid he's going to start shooting in her house.
Okay, but still.
He asked where her daughter was.
Yeah.
She wanted him to go where her daughter wasn't.
I understand that, but it's still on her. Part of it's on her.
I guess. I don't know.
I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
Yeah. Well, because he kills Candace. Yeah. Spoilers. So, yeah. So he and his buddy pull down Hilary Swank's pants and drag Lana in there and be like, look at your little boyfriend.
Yeah.
It's just awful. And you think that's where it's going to end? I was a little surprised that it ended there. I mean, I kind of thought he was going to rape her then.
I thought at least they were going to beat the shit out of her.
Yeah. But they let her go. I guess because everybody knows they're in there. Like, they would have had witnesses, whatever.
Sure.
So they let her go. Him go. And, just grab him and rape him later.
Yep.
The most brutal rape scene I think I've ever seen in a movie.
It's pretty bad. It's worse than The Accused.
Yeah. Yeah. It was rough to watch. Both of them do it. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, the most fucked up thing where they're like, "Hey, you okay?" And they're like acting like they're gonna take care of them, and like it's weird.
And so then, Brandon reports it. Well, Brandon goes to Lana's house, and Lana makes her mom call an ambulance, and obviously, you know, the what do they call them? Mandatory reporters or whatever. So the people at the hospital know, so they say something, I'm sure.
That was one of the just most heart-wrenching moments, though, when he's at the hospital talking to the nurse and says, "How do you know they raped me?" And the nurse just looks at them, and it's like there's 100 answers there.
Yeah.
It's sad.
And so then the police are questioning and everything, and at first he's saying like, "Oh, they didn't do anything" or whatever. And I thought like the way the questioning was going, I do think that they were being kind of assholes.
Oh, they were definitely being fucking assholes
in the questioning. But at first, because he was like, I find it hard to believe that if you're a girl and they took your pants off, that they didn't do anything to you and stuff like. And I think the point was more like, don't stop lying for them. Like, tell us what happened.
But like at that point when they say that, we have not even seen the rape yet.
No, that's true.
All we've seen is the bathroom and what happened in the bathroom, which I thought they did in the bathroom, like put their hand there. So
I don't think so. I think just the guy did put his hand between her legs, so whatever, to like check. I guess I don't know.
But also at one point, they said that they'd never had sex before.
Yeah.
So that's just horrific in and of itself.
So, anyway, so then he tells him about the rape and everything. And so they call the guy to question him, John, like, hey, you got to come down tomorrow for questioning. So John decides the best thing to do is to kill them all.
Well, they told him after they raped him that they would silence him forever if he said anything to anybody, that this was going to have to be our little secret and we'd all still be friends.
Right.
Like, what's wrong in their brain that they think that he wants to still be their friend?
No shit.
Idiots. But yeah, so, I mean, I'm really impressed with this person that they, you know, had the fortitude to go report it, because it's not an easy thing to do for anybody, let alone somebody who's transgendered and having to deal with the cops out in the country being jerks, and yeah. So, but yeah, so they decide they're going to go kill them.
And they do.
And they do.
And now apparently they've been arrested, and one's on trial for murder, and the other one is on the death row.
John is on death row,
and the other one is serving
consecutive life sentences.
Yeah.
For the murder of Brandon, but also they murdered other people at the same time.
Apparently, in real life, so like the first Becky is a character, I mean, obviously it's a character, but First Becky really existed, different name than First Becky. Or Candace. But I guess there was a guy there, and her and Brandon, wherever, and all three of them were killed. So,
but there was no baby. They said there was a baby. There was a baby in the fucking movie. Just why do you think you needed to add that in there?
Don't know.
It was heart-wrenching enough. Thank you.
Yeah, but no baby.
And then Lana just lays there with Brandon forever.
That also apparently did not happen.
Why?
Apparently, she wasn't there.
Oh, she wasn't there
when the killing happened. So
okay. Yeah, they could have gone without all these embellishments.
Yeah, I mean they want it's a movie, so they take some artistic license with some things.
Yeah.
I think the strength of the movie is Hilary Swank's performance.
Yeah.
Which is next level when it comes to this kind of stuff. Lots of difficult scenes to deal with, first of all. Difficult to be a woman who is not transgendered playing a boy, playing a girl who Playing someone
A transgendered
biologically a girl who thinks that they're a boy or feels like a boy or whatever has that what do they call it? Sexual identity crisis.
Yeah, that's what they said.
So, yeah, like that's hard enough to navigate all that stuff. But then to be able to convey everything that they needed to convey in the different scenes. I mean, it was a really, really amazing job. And I think that's the big strength of the movie. I think there's a lot of actresses they could have hired or actors that they could have hired that it wouldn't have worked.
Sure. Yeah, but yeah, they did a great job. All of the actors in this movie, I think, did an excellent job.
Yeah, I agree. Chloe Sevigny also is a standout, I think, in the movie.
Yeah, like you said, very good at conveying longing in their looks.
Yeah. Yep. But I would still recommend it, like I said, but I mean, you got to know what you're getting into. It's hard. It's a hard watch.
I was physically nauseated after watching it, so just, keep that in mind. You all know yourselves.
Right. So, I mean, if you're very sensitive to any of this at all, I would watch out. But it's, it is a movie I think that's important for people to see because of there are people like this out here who are born in one, sex and one gender or whatever, and they feel like they're the other. Mm-hmm. And, they're people, too, that deserve rights.
Empathy.
And all that stuff. So, important to... The movie is very much about, like, identity, and it's very much about ignorance and the rising above that kind of ignorance.
Yep.
But yeah, I think a good one. One of the best movies of the year. Very, very strong contender for one of the best movies of the year. But Carol, that is the episode. Why don't you tell people where they can find their own...
Good luck to you there, sir. You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com. Mm-hmm. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep. Oh, gas station ring. Because that happens.
That does. And share the tapes with your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.